Youth Month today, challenges facing the youth continue. Unemployment among young people remains one of the biggest obstacles. According to Statistics South Africa, over 50% of the youth in this country is unemployed. That's a shocking stat that inspires this year's theme, live a legacy towards a socio-economically empowered youth. That's quote and close quote. But with no solution to unemployment in South Africa in sight, entrepreneurship has been suggested by many to be the answer. However, one of the biggest challenges to entrepreneurship in this country is funding. In studio, we are joined by Brandon Tshabangu. He's an ordinary South African, a businessman, a public speaker, author, as well as an attorney, who's doing his bit to contribute to the fight against unemployment among young people. A very good morning to you, Brandon, and welcome.
Good morning, Elvis.
First and foremostly, let me talk to you about your various titles. We mentioned you're a lawyer, you're a philanthropist, but you're also an author. Talk to me about this book that we have here, Minding the Immigrant. What does it tell us?
Well, the book is all about looking at different advantages and disadvantages in as far as social factors between South African citizens and immigrants. It also focuses on how we interrelate and how we engage with one another, more particularly in reference to how we treat the immigrants in the country and how immigrants have been treated in general.
But let's talk about the issue at hand, because as we're closing Youth Month this month, unemployment at over 50%, what are we doing wrong as a country?
Let me first start with the education system. Our education system, it's formally focused on teaching us on how to comply, how to do certain things to prepare for a formal work, but they're not teaching us on how to develop, create, and primarily manufacturing. So we have a problem with the education system first. Hence, you can see the number of graduates that are unemployed is shockingly high.
Yes. Now, the President Cyril Ramaphosa lauded the NYDA for the work it's doing to promoting entrepreneurship in the country. But do you think that the government is doing enough in order to make sure and support aspiring entrepreneurs in the country?
Definitely the government is doing enough. It's just that the youth is not doing enough. We are more prone to social welfare mindedness than individual and group activities, supporting one another and pushing each other as the youth to do something. Yes. The government is doing enough.
Let's get into the initiative that you're involved in, the SME business plan competition. Talk to me about that, and how does it involve the youth and to create that spirit of entrepreneurship?
What we did, or what I did in the past 2 years, I created what we call Brandon Tshabangu Leadership and Business. It is based in Mpumalanga in Carolina. I'll just count for a month of June, where I freely initiated a program where 30 young business women and men were embraced by the leadership, and we assisted them to register companies for free. And thereafter, I held a 1-week workshop where I obtained different professionals with business skills, knowledge, to come and teach these new business aspirants on how to start a business. Now that you've got a company, how do you manage the company? How do you compete? How do you procure work? If your interest is on tendering, how do you start? How do you go about tendering? And various other aspects of business. And I can assure you that 30 businessmen have been born out of this initiative, out of my foundation.
Are you planning on spreading this good work that you do across the country?
I am planning to do so. I've already started in Pretoria as well. For the month of July, I'm looking now at high school matriculants to assist them with free tutorship in maths and science, whereby I get various skilled persons in mathematics and science, get the matriculants, put them together, and let them be taught on how to master this significant science.
How do you identify these young business people that you think can grow beyond their potential?
What we do, we ordinarily make social media invites and advertisements. And moreover, I get different people coming to our offices for inquiries and so forth. Then I have a team that assesses, and then they will come to me and tell me, no, this one can be assisted, this one cannot, or otherwise we just put them in one room and try to see if they can be assisted.
As an entrepreneur yourself, what is the advice that you would give to a young person out there that is currently perhaps a graduate and sitting at home?
The times have changed. We are no longer looking at employment as a solution. We are looking at creating employment. The youth sitting out there, I think we need to start thinking on how we can make sure that another person who's unemployed gets to be employed. So the advice I will give will be move away from the employment mind. Shift to the creation of jobs. Everybody can create jobs. Everybody can start businesses without funding. I've run a program, Elvis, called Starting a Business on a Zero Budget, through which I
Zero budget?
Zero budget.
Yes.
I have taught a number of hundreds of young entrepreneurs on how you can start a business without a funding, and they have done so successfully. I have started businesses myself without any funding, and so those businesses still stand today. So we are more now on the era where we need to move away from the old way of doing things to a new way of saying technology is on our side. The next wars will be fought by robots. The next solutions are coming from internet or online and so forth. So let us not sit back as the youth and hope that we'll be employed. Rather, let us think on how we can create an opportunity and create more employment for one another.
Those that want to get involved with your organization in order to start their own businesses, or perhaps just needing advice, where do they go to? How do they find you?
I'm available on social media, but I prefer that my office be contacted via email, which is admin@tshabangu.co.za. Telephone number, if I may give,
yes,
it's 012-341-4187. We try to assist everybody that comes to us.
Brandon, all the best of luck, and thank you for coming through and
Thank
joining
you,
us here. That was Brandon Tshabangu. He's an ordinary South African, a businessman, public speaker, author, and attorney who's doing his bit to contribute to the fight against unemployment among young people in our country, which is absolutely shocking. But that's where we got to leave it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after that.